It was supposed to be a quiet morning at the bustling Atlanta International Airport, just another day filled with rushing travelers, echoing announcements, and the steady hum of rolling suitcases. But for one woman, that morning would turn into a humiliating and painful experience, one that would soon shake the entire airport staff to their core. As passengers lined up for check-in, a woman named Emily Kennedy, the wife of John Kennedy, a respected businessman and philanthropist, waited patiently with her small carry-on and a soft smile. She was traveling alone, returning home after visiting her ill mother. Dressed simply in jeans and a cardigan, she blended in like any other traveler. No one at the airport knew who she was. No one knew that within hours, her husband's name would make the headlines. When it was finally Emily's turn at the counter, things began to go wrong. The attendant, visibly irritated and rushing through customers, began questioning Emily about her ticket. There was a small discrepancy, a system error that marked her ticket as invalid. Emily calmly explained that she had already confirmed the booking, showing her email receipt. But instead of checking the system or calling for assistance, the attendant raised her voice, accusing her of trying to argue and hold up the line. People began to look. Whispers spread. Emily, flustered and embarrassed, apologized repeatedly, trying to explain. But before she could, a security officer was called. Within minutes, things escalated as the officer, assuming she was causing trouble, told her to step aside and, when she hesitated, forcibly removed her from the counter area. Her bag was tossed aside. She stumbled, falling to the ground. The shock in her eyes said it all. She wasn't just hurt physically, she was broken inside. Tears welled up as she sat on the floor, surrounded by cold stares. Nobody helped. People watched, whispered, filmed on their phones, and then looked away. The staff moved on as if nothing happened. An hour later, the sound of hurried footsteps broke through the crowd. John Kennedy, a tall, calm, and known for his quiet dignity, arrived at the terminal. His phone had been flooded with messages from witnesses and a video that was already going viral online. The moment he saw his wife sitting in a corner, her eyes red and hands trembling, something inside him shattered. He walked straight to the counter, his presence commanding silence. The same staff who had laughed moments earlier froze in place. Without raising his voice, John asked one question: "Who did this to my wife?" The manager came running, trying to apologize, but John held up a hand. "Apologies mean nothing when respect is already lost," he said. He then turned to the crowd, to the passengers still watching, and said with calm precision, "This isn't just about my wife. This is about every person who's ever been mistreated because someone thought their position gave them power. My wife didn't need my name to deserve respect. She deserved it as a human being." The silence in the terminal was deafening. Some of the employees began to cry. The security officer who had pushed Emily looked down, ashamed. Within minutes, airport authorities were on the scene. The staff involved were suspended pending investigation, and an official public apology was issued the same day. But John didn't stop there. Instead of using his influence for revenge, he used it for change. Within a week, he launched a program in partnership with the airport called Compassion First, aimed at training staff nationwide to handle conflicts with empathy and understanding. The first session began right there in the same airport, and Emily herself attended, not as a victim, but as a voice of hope. Months later, Emily spoke publicly about the incident. Her words moved millions. "That day, I felt small, invisible, but I realized something. Sometimes pain becomes purpose. If what happened to me teaches one person to choose kindness over cruelty, then it wasn't in vain." The story spread far beyond the airport. It became a symbol of humility, empathy, and the power of standing up for what's right, not with anger, but with grace. The video of John comforting his wife went viral, not for the fame, but for the humanity it showed. By the time the news cycle moved on, the Kennedys had quietly returned to their normal lives. But the lesson lingered in the hearts of millions, a reminder that respect isn't earned through status or fear, but through kindness. And for the airport staff who had once looked down on a woman they didn't recognize, the regret was deep and lasting. They had learned, the hardest way possible, that you never truly know who you're speaking to, and that every person, famous or not, deserves dignity. In the end, what began as an act of humiliation turned into a movement of compassion, a story that started with pain, ended with purpose. And through it all, John and Emily Kennedy reminded the world of something simple yet profound: the way you treat others defines who you truly are.